And welcome back to another episode of Dogs on the Couch, where everybody's allowed to have an opinion. It does not matter if you played the game you were watching. So you're allowed to have an opinion as well. First and foremost, please like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. It is free of charge, doesn't cost you a dime, okay? It helps grow the channel as well as push videos like this into the algorithm so that like-minded people may have a chance to view them also. We set our first goal here. We'd like to try to reach 100 subscribers, and you can help us out personally by becoming family and hitting that subscription button. I greatly appreciate it. Now, with that being said, 2026 belongs to the Knicks. That is your 2026 NBA champion. New York Knicks. Eastern Conference reigns supreme over the NBA. And that sole title belongs to the New York Knicks. Congratulations, man. Um, if anything else, I can respect it. Because, if you know anything about, Cleveland or been in Cleveland for any particular amount of time, you have no choice but to know about droughts for winning championships or just having, you know, even having the window to think you could possibly win a championship. So, if there's any other place that could relate to the struggle and finally overcoming and all of that, you know what I mean? Cleveland would be one of those places. So, uh, congratulations to the Knicks. Congratulations to Jalen Brunson, who completely demolished the narrative that you can't win with a small guard. Shout out to Kendrick Perkins, who's been pounding the table saying that he can do it for quite some time. The others got to eat crow, Becky Hammond and a few others, you know what I mean? Shout out to, their bench. Feel like they did a great job. And lit almost pretty much everybody that's on their bench. I even think I saw, what is his name? Tyler Kolek, I think, getting some minutes. In the closeout game in the NBA Finals, I think I saw a couple minutes of him getting out there. And you had Jose Alvarado having a great game last game. You know what I mean? Mitchell Robinson getting key rebounds. Fighting through hand injuries and different things of that nature. Landry Shamet coming up big, hitting threes in certain games. Karl Anthony Towns, in my opinion, played some really tough basketball. So even on the nights like in the closeout game Saturday night, he wasn't just great on offense, wasn't really too good on offense, honestly. But I felt like he played tough basketball. It's both physically tough basketball as well as mentally tough basketball. Being as though, he was having issues offensively, he didn't allow that to take him completely out of the game. And just kind of be worthless out there or look lost. Shout out to Mike Brown. Great coaching job, Mike Brown. Don't think you ever really heard too much of that when you were coaching for the Cavs, unfortunately. But really ain't too many coaches that get credit when you coaching LeBron. Like, all the credit usually tends to go to LeBron, right? The criticism is what goes to the coach. The credit is what goes to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So I think Mike Brown suffered from a little bit of that, while he was here in Cleveland. So, good chance for him to be on the grand stage, showcase his abilities, on the sideline and whatnot. Another guy who went through the Steve Kerr coaching tree, if you will, from that, went through that little system or whatever, like one Kenny Atkinson did. But it seems to me one guy may have picked up a few more things, in his tenure there than maybe the other one might have. So again, congratulations to the Knicks. Wanted to make sure, make sure we got that, got that out the way, man. They deserve their flowers, man. It's only right. It's only right. Good sportsmanship. So, what did the New York Knicks winning the NBA championship in 2026 tell me about the Cleveland Cavs going forward in their quest to win an NBA championship? Well, I'm going to be honest. It told me that I can't necessarily see it happening anytime soon. Here are a few reasons why. Well, first of all, before, let me do it this way. Before I give my spiel, let's take a listen to Mikey McNuggets, courtesy of UCSS. And I really love a lot of Mikey McNuggets basketball takes and different things like that. Feel like he's very knowledgeable in the game, very well versed in what he's speaking about. And let's just kind of hear, what his take was, from, with the Knicks winning and, where he may feel, the Cavs are at the current moment, and maybe what, everything that has happened, maybe what's that's, telling him about what the Cavs should do moving forward.
Staff. And Tibbs ran this course, and Mike Brown was able to get through to him.
The biggest lesson I took from this championship run, and it's not just the Knicks, it's really watching the best teams in the league in the playoffs. To win at the highest level, you have to be able to play one big and four out. And in order to play one big and four out, you don't do it the entire game, but that's kind of the winning formula. You need wings that can rebound and defend and have size to cover up.
Now, I agree with a portion of that. I also disagree with a portion of that. Really quickly, just so I get that out the way, because the rest of it, in my opinion, he's cooking. To say that you have to be able to play like that, I think could have been worded slightly better. There are times where I use blanket statements as well, so I understand. I would say you have to be able to, at times, sustain yourself playing one big, four out. Do I think that that's like the running thing that'll get you over the hump, that's going to ultimately be the thing that wins you the championship? If you want to win a championship, you have to be able to do this. No, I don't necessarily think so. In all honesty, I think that's one of the things that actually kind of hurt the Spurs. The fact that they didn't have a true, they couldn't go to a lineup where they could turn to a true power forward to go alongside Wemby, or a true center to go alongside Wemby playing the power forward position, instead of it just being Champagnie the majority of the time. We never got a chance to see a lineup that might have had Luke Cornett and Wemby in the game together. I feel like that was something Mitch Johnson could have experimented with his bag. You know what I'm saying? One of those things where I felt like he was kind of doing the Kenny Atkinson, so to speak. Why not just try it and see? The Knicks have times where they have Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns on the court at the same time. So, I agree with it to a certain degree. I don't feel like you should, that's the mold that every team has to build their team around. This has to be the main way that you play. That part I don't agree with. And I don't think that's what he's saying. I think that he's saying that that's just, I guess, like the driving force for wins. I don't even necessarily feel like that's just the driving force for winning an NBA championship. I just feel like with that being something that's so prominent in the league now, it doesn't hurt you to be able to develop a way for you to sustain that on your roster for periods of time as well. Even if it's not just your bread and butter and that's what you go to, the fact that you can at least be able to put it out there at certain times and sustain it. Maybe the other team is running something defensively that, if you run this one big four out, it'll help them get out of that defensive set, and then you can get back to doing what you want to do. In those kinds of scenarios, that's where I feel like it's like, okay, you need to have that tool in your tool bag. Is more so what where I view it. Just have that tool in your tool bag. Not necessarily that's the main tool in your tool bag. Let's listen to the rest of Mike.
Rest of your rosters. Lack of size, per se. Jalen Brunson just defeated the narrative, at least for now, that a small guard can't win an NBA championship, right? He was the best player, won finals MVP. He's listed at 6'2". Jalen Brunson's like 5'11".
Yeah, at top.
Maybe. Now, Brunson is an incredible player, has a unique skill set, but the reason they're able to survive with him out there defensively is they have 6'5" Josh Hart, who makes all the kind of little winning plays that helps you win a championship. 6'7" Mikal Bridges, who has a 7'1" wingspan, who's an incredible wing defender, can switch on to anybody. And then you had OG Anunoby, who hit a playoff heater, is 6'8", built like a freight truck, can rebound as well as any power forward in the NBA, can guard bigs when needed. And you combine those three wings with Cat, who's not a great rim protector,
But he's an elite
but is
shooter.
a good rebounder and a great shooter. You have the versatility to play a bunch of different styles. My issue with the Cavs right now is they have two of their four best players are bigs, Allen and Mobley, correct?
Yeah.
If they want to play big, play big. Lean into playing big. Lean into using your bigs as an advantage over teams.
Which is kind of what I said a lot of here. A lot of it, which is like, hey man, the most success, a lot of the majority of the success that you had has come with the double bigs. It's like, why not lean more into that as opposed to leaning into small ball, which is what Kenny would tend to do most times.
That don't have two 7-footers that can play at the level of those two. The issue is two of their four best players are their two bigs, and they share the court for about 12 minutes a game. They don't lean into that. They try to play one big, four out, when two of their four best players are bigs, and they don't have the requisite size in the wings to be able to supplement playing with just one big. So my big lesson is, if you want to play big and stick with the score four, then lean into playing big and utilize that as a strength.
That's what JB did.
Well,
They went really big when.
yeah.
At one time.
I think
Yeah, and I talked about that before here when we had Laurie Markkinen, and so instead of the 2 7-footers, we would run 3 7-footers out there, essentially. Markkinen's close to 7 feet, so we was just talking, hey, 3 7-footers, you know what I mean? Like, that's what JB was running and was leaning into it, and that was like the original resurgence of this version of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
There's nothing like that.
So yeah, we got to add here. Hold on. So they end up going into it a little bit more. For the most part, they done kind of covered like, what I kind of want to touch on. I'll let just for the sake of saying, I'll let him
the Knicks are a unique
finish just a little bit.
roster because they built it around their best player. They built into what they do best, right? If you have Cat, who's not a great rim protector, get wings who don't allow drives. Brunson's not great in switches. Okay, if you're going to switch, we're going to have the best wings possible. The Cavs have to play into what they do best and build a roster on what they do best and stop trying to play a certain style because philosophically that's the style you like when it doesn't fit what your roster actually has on
So
it.
you did a really.
Okay, so what I find to be ironic about what he's saying is that's in the hands of the coach. The same coach that we, with no hesitation, brought back on board, who already proved to us in real time he's going to go with the philosophy that he wants to go with, even if he sees it not working up close and personal. He can see it not working, but he's still going to do it. And then after it doesn't work, he's going to come to us and tell us, well, analytically, it worked. I know we didn't win the game. I know you guys don't want to hear that, but, analytically, we did a great job. Analytically, we actually won this game if you look at the numbers. So that portion alone, for starters, is going to negate the main part that he's saying, where it's like, okay, this is something, this is what it told, this is what it tells me, This is what the Knicks was doing, and if I'm watching this is what it's telling me about what we can do with our team. Well, the coach that we have, he went again, Kevin Stefanski. This is what I want to run my system. I don't care the collection of players that I have and the fact that I keep putting all these little guards out here and they can't guard nobody. And then when we not hitting threes, we can't get the rebound. We can't rebound. We can't rebound and we can't guard nobody because we got all these little guards out here because he just want to keep running a bunch of little guards out there. And he mad at Jalen Tyson and he don't like Thomas Bryant. How are we going? With the coach that we got, so it's either, the only other thing we can look at is, roster moves. Like that would be it. But again, here we are where I say roster moves, right? There have been two notable wing players that, we've had here that I feel like haven't gotten a fair shake due to the head coach. That's DeAndre Hunter and now Jalen Tyson. So the exact thing that he was saying is kind of what helps make the Knicks so good seems to also be the exact same thing that Kenny Atkinson is allergic to. It's like he doesn't like, it's like the only 6'8", 6'9" wing player that he likes is Dean Wade. That's pretty much it. There really doesn't seem to be any other wing player that Kenny likes to give minutes to. It's like he only likes to give the minutes to the guards because he wants to run a 4-guard lineup the majority of the time. So even if we did switch up the personnel, which I don't think Dean Wade's going anywhere, they hurried up and came out and said they want, he's the first one we looking to re-sign when I already called that crap. I said, yeah, if Kenny stay here, the first thing we're going to do is bring back Dean Wade and start him and play him for 25 to 30 minutes a game. So he go out there and have 5 points and who knows, and he might be a -10 that night, but he still played 30 minutes for whatever reason because the great defense that he plays. He plays such great defense. But somehow it ain't good enough defense to stop the other team scoring enough points to beat us. So even if we did go out and make trades and acquire specific wing players and stuff like that, that don't mean Kenny gonna play them. Especially not when it counts, because Kenny will play them all season long. Then he'll get to the playoffs and he'll say, nope, I only trust Dean Wade, Max Strus, and Sam Merrill. Those are the only guys I trust. I don't trust these other 6'8", 6'9" wing players that you brought in. Like, real talk, if we had OG Anunoby here, this is with all due respect. If we had OG Anunoby here, I still 100% think that Kenny would keep him on the bench just to start Dean Wade. So we would have an OG Anunoby on the team, and we wouldn't even know it because he ain't out there to get enough minutes to be able to do what he needs to do. Same thing with a Josh Hart. If we had Josh Hart here, he would not be starting over Kenny, not about to start him over Dean Wade. It's not happening. He not about to get the same amount of minutes that he get over there with the Knicks up under Mike Brown. If we had Josh Hart here, he not getting that many minutes. Because that means Dean Wade can't be out there. Kenny not about to let that happen. So even if you do make these moves for roster changes with the current head coach that you have, there's no guarantee that the people that you get or acquire that could possibly be great for your team and help you. There's no guarantee they're going to see the minutes when it matters the most. Last but not least, because this don't need to be we don't need to go too in depth with this because we beating a dead horse. Last but not least, couple things that it told me. So the obvious, which I've pointed out already, which was the Knicks were great with Tom Thibodeau. Tibbs had took the Knicks further than they had been before him. But the Knicks didn't look at that and say, well, we can't get rid of Tibbs. We're not even thinking about that. They looked at that and said, you know what? We feel like we accumulated the right roster. Maybe we just need a coach that can push the right buttons with these players a little bit more. Because the only thing that the players seem to be saying that they got an issue with necessarily is, hey, can we get the bench in a little bit more so that we not gassed the whole time? Mitch Johnson could have did a better job with that. Report came out, Dylan Harper was kind of disgruntled, by the fact that he wasn't really getting the proper minutes that he should have been getting. Because Mitch Johnson, I guess, trusted De'Aaron Fox more because he's the veteran. He has more experience. But when we watching it, we looking like, bruh, if you just give Dylan Harper a little bit more minutes, y'all might be able to compete a little bit better in these certain little instances where you having these blunders like this. Because we watching De'Aaron Fox kind of struggle out there. But, hey, I guess Mitch Johnson trusted De'Aaron Fox more and, the experience or whatever. Okay, cool. But from what we was all looking at, we're like, man, I don't know, man. You should go ahead and give Dylan Harper that spot to start him one game and see what happens. Just see how it goes. So, not only that, but what I feel like is the number one thing that shined through for me when I sat and I thought about all of it, aside from the coaching and, coaching being able to utilize personnel properly, going deep into your bench when maybe guys that you rely on normally aren't necessarily performing to their maximum potential at certain points of the series, him going to a Jose Alvarado, in crucial stretches of the game and then not deviating from it just because Alvarado might have made one mistake. He doesn't hurry up and pull him out of the game. Or if he sees that a Landry Shamet is on fire and he's knocking down threes, okay, well, I know the analytics tell me I'm supposed to pull Shamet right now, but he hot. So I'm finna leave him in the game. F them analytics. I'm watching Shamet and he hot. So even though our metrics say we supposed to pull him right now so he can get rest and we can put Buddy back in, Shamet cooking right now, so we finna leave him out there in the game. Aside from those aspects, the number one thing that I thought about, you gotta have players, especially the main players, you gotta have guys that wanna win. This is what I mean by that. At one point, there was a discussion, there was this question that was thrown out, and Gilbert Arenas made the question popular, making a joke out of it, but he was serious with what he was saying too. It was just sparked a lot of debate. And it was, would you rather take the money or do you want the ring? You want the money, the big fat contract, or you want the ring? And then Gil like, oh, nah, the money. We need the money. You could pawn that ring for people, these champions, they selling their rings on. I go online right now and buy a ring and just buy one. So I want the money. Give me the money. F that ring. I don't need that ring. Respectfully, I don't feel like the New York Knicks are composed of players that have that mindset. I feel like they're composed of players with a winning mindset that play to win. That say, no, I want to win a championship. I'm not just playing. It's not just about the money. Because as we all have heard, and we know, of course, they bring it up now more than any other time, but Jalen Brunson took less money. He took less money. So that way you can, build the team, fully build the team out. So with him, clearly Brunson was thinking, well, I want to win more than I want to become this billionaire athlete. I want to win. I have the drive, the determination to want to win. That's what I want more than anything. I want to win. I don't want to go back and forth with the media when they calling me saying I'm too short and all this other crap. And I love the fact that Brunson had the perfect opportunity to clap back and to say, what now? And when they asked him about it, I absolutely loved his answer. He said, I didn't say anything about it then, so I sure as heck ain't about to say nothing about it now. I thought that you, in my opinion, you couldn't answer the question any better than that. You couldn't have, that was the ultimate mic drop. Like, I ignored you when you were talking crazy about me then. I didn't have nothing to say about it. I just kept my head down and I'm going to work because I'm like, I want to win. I got to win. I want to win. I got to win. I want to win. I got to win. I got to work. I got to work. I got to get better. I got to get better because I want to win. That's all I was worried about when you was talking up crazy about me. So now that I done won, you the one that's got to dress out, not me, because I won. So I don't need what I need to address you for. I didn't address you when you were telling me I wasn't going to win. So now that I done won, you think I'm about to give you some airtime? You think I'm about to give you some mic time? No, this is about me. Yeah, this is about me and I won. I don't want to address none of that other crap. I'm not addressing that. I didn't address them then. So I sure ain't addressing them now. I absolutely loved it. Karl Anthony Towns. All of the zesty and all this other crap. He could try to, fight that. But to me, it just seems like he just keep his head down and work and work and work and just be like, you know what, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. To me, that just seems to be his mindset. I want to win. You call me zesty, cool. But if I win, then I'm a zesty winner now, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just seemed like that's his mentality. OG Anunoby, quiet. Seemed like he just come to work and just grind hard every day. Just come to work and grind hard. Same thing with Josh Hart. Literally, Hart is his last. Like, that is the best word to describe what he is out there on. It's just heart. So even when he's not making them shots, it's just the heart and effort that he brings. It just screams, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. I'll give my right arm to win. I don't care what I got to do. I just want to win. Whereas other people, they do stuff like, again, here's the thing, here's what we're talking about with Donovan Mitchell. Oh, well, instead of him signing the extension this year, if he holds out and waits until next year, he could get even more money. Or you got the comments that really made me sour on Donovan Mitchell. I'm not going to lie. And I'm souring more the more I heard the Knicks and, I'm seeing that and I'm watching how they are and how they built because they're not going nowhere. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. And they in the Eastern Conference. So we're going to have to see them. Donovan Mitchell making comments talking about, I won already. I won in life. If you had won an NBA championship already, like if you was LeBron, I could kind of get behind you saying that. Because it's like, you didn't kind of did everything that there is to do. Only thing you ain't did is make people argue that you better than Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And that's an argument that you may never win. So it's like at that point, it's like, bro, look, I won at life. What else can I do? What else can I do at this point? If that's a LeBron saying something like that, I'm with it. Donovan Mitchell, you ain't even made an NBA Finals, man. And I'm not worried about that. I've won at life. I wasn't supposed to even be here. Well, neither was Jalen Brunson. Some people even question if Jalen Brunson was an actual NBA player. When the Knicks initially signed Jalen Brunson and he went over there, the Knicks wasn't looking like, oh yeah, heck yeah, we got Jalen Brunson. We about to win the chip now. They was looking at it like, all right, this Luka sidekick, that's who we got. All right, I guess. Whatever. I guess. So Jalen Brunson wasn't supposed to be there either. But what I don't hear from Jalen Brunson is I don't hear Jalen Brunson talking about, well, I already won at life. I hear Jalen Brunson speaking with the winner's mentality, with the winning mindset. And he got this stone cold look on his face the whole time throughout the playoffs. No matter the highs, the lows, The big shots, the big losses, no nothing. It's like he never deviated just from the mindset of I gotta win, I want to win, and I'm not about to stop being laser focused until I got the trophy. I can't think about nothing else until I got the trophy. I just want to win. So if you asking me, as much as talent, coaching, X's and O's, schemes, I think you got to have, especially from your best players, I think you got to have players that have the mentality of, I want to win. Be it for one season, or if that's just your mentality altogether. You got to have a mindset, I want to win. And you got to have those players out there on the court. So if you're asking me what again, what it's telling me about our team, it's telling me, as far as the Cavaliers go, we shouldn't be looking at winning no NBA championship anytime soon. We'll see how the roster shakes up going forward. Dogs on the couch, signing.